make sure, people understand.
One of the questions that there were like, I think there are 10, 11 people actually asked about it was that, and I want you to answer it, is that how do we change our story? And the most important part of this question was that, what if this, because we talked about it, remember we talked about it, you don't need to believe the story, you just change your story and you stick with it and you tell it over and over and over again till you believe it, right? And then everybody was asking, like, what if the story that we're telling ourselves is a lie? So I want you to talk more about that, because we never said that you have to lie. So the stage is yours.
Well, change your story. The way you said, how do you change our story, right? Yeah. So for me, the way you change your story is by asking the right questions, empowerment questions. You understand? Yeah. So remember, through questions, you can change your mindset, you can change your state, you can change your feelings. But if you asking stupid questions, then your story. The reason I say story with questions, right? Let's say you set up something, this is what you believe that can happen. You need to ask yourself, how can you make this happen? Versus saying, oh, I don't really know, I can make this happen. Oh, this is not me. Just saying stuff. Because if you ask, whatever you ask, you will find, right? So when you try to write your own stories, you want to make sure that not only you believe in it, so you got to say things to yourself that you believe in your own story, right? And then your physiology is another one, another part, how you say it. If you say it in a form of a person that just like you downwards and your shoulders move forward, and you just like you just looking sad all the time, that's not going to happen. Understand? So and you gotta remember what you said. What you focus on, you will see. Whatever you believe, you will see also. So you gotta, and those are where this is where you ask empowerment questions. You know what I mean? Rather than ask stupid questions, then you're gonna get stupid answers, right? That's what we mean. Whatever we ask is what you look for. So if you focus, okay, like one of the things I like to say, God will lead me, okay? And then I'll say, I can do this, I know I got what it takes. Or I could say, these people are better with me or without me, They're better with me, without me. You understand? So, as you say these things, so you start, this is what it's going to make you believe in your story. Because when you say something, you have to be the first one to believe in it before I do. So you got to build that energy inside you, within you. Once you do that and you let it permeate inside of you, so people will like start seeing it. They're like, wow, you got what it takes to do this. So this is all it is, really. Number one, you have to ask empowerment questions, powerful questions. So don't ask questions that's gonna give you doubt. You understand? So doubt questions, you get doubt answers. Empower questions give you empowerment answers, right? And you find a way, and then you focus on that. So words that you say to yourself is on one hand. What you believe and focus is on another hand, and your body, how you carry your body, is another. And then you put your story together. You understand? So that's how you change it. So and you really, you're not really changing. Whether you want to call it change it, if you put a story together, this is what you want to do. Like, for example, let's say I'm changing career. It's a story, right? I want to see myself further. I want to see myself be the next top, whatever, sales guy in this field that I'm in. So it's a story you're telling yourself, but you got to believe it, right? You gotta have those three things. You gotta focus. You gotta believe in it. You gotta say the right thing. If I say, I don't really think I have what it takes to do this. This is not me. Then that's not gonna make your story strong. It's not gonna strengthen your story. You understand? So what you say to yourself, believe and focus are important in your story.
Your connection is a little bit.
Yeah, your connection is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
But I didn't see. Yeah.
No, because I don't. It's a very, again, it's a very it's a great topic, this whole story changing. But what I want people to know is that none of us ever advertise that you have to lie. It's not about telling a lie. It's about what you said. It's about asking the right question and creating and building the person that you want to be, the image that you want to be, and tell that to yourself. So it's not about lying, you know, because I got it more than 3 or 4 questions that actually they asked, like, how can we lie to ourselves? It's not about you lying to yourself. Neither of us advertise that. It's all about the truth. And the thing is, we believe in you. We believe in endless possibilities, that whatever you want to be, whatever you want to create, we will believe in that. Hence, you will believe in that, you know? So you create the person you want to be. You create the life you want to be. You write it down. My exercise is mostly that you write it down and you read it and you tell it to yourself. And every time you read it, every time you tell it to yourself, you're going to believe it more and more and more. So I just want to clear that. Nobody ever said that you have to lie.
well, listen. You know, there's a saying that says, "Fake it till you make it." Well, if that's what it means, if it means lie to you, then that's you. That's your definition. So what we say really, you know, is so simple. When you set up a goal, right? It's like building a home. You need foundations to make it strong, or else it's gonna be a house that's just gonna fall apart. So your story needs to be strengthened and have all the necessary emotions that needs to make it real. Okay, so in other words, you need the thing that you say to yourself are important. Those are components to make your story believable, and what you believe and focus, you will see. So if you believe if you don't believe it's not going to happen, then your story, you can have a weak story. You understand? And how you walk, how you carry yourself. Look, when I'm in the gym, I carry myself like a superhero. I got this, you know. So my energy, I don't take pre-workout anymore. Never. I haven't done that because the things that I say to myself is very important. And how I carry myself, I know that I got this. So that's all it is. The story. Like, for example, here's another story. Like today, I want to squat 4 plates on each side. I haven't done that in a while. So it's heavy, right? So I have to. This is a story. The story was I want to squat 4 plates, right? So how do I do that? I have to say things to myself. I got this. I can do this. I've done it before. I better do this, or else someone else will do it, and it better be me, right? And I said, I believe I can do this, and those are components that you need to strengthen your story. Now, you may not get it done the right way, but try again until you get it. And then I carry myself a certain way to make that happen. That's all it is. You need the right component. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, although that I'm not a big advocate or even big fan of fake it till you make it. I don't even believe that. I would say, and I think we should talk about this. Like, it's a very good subject to talk about because a lot of our colleagues I've seen and I've heard, and I know a lot of people are great advocate of this fake it till you make it. But I would say have faith till you make it. Believe that you can and you will. So I would say that. Yeah, but thank you for this one. I got another. I will now I will answer one of the questions that I got. That is, again, I love this question because I always get it. And the question is, how can you always be happy? Not just me, like in general. How can you always be happy? And the question was to me, actually. So, well, you can always be on drugs. That's it. I'm not advocating that. I'm not advertising that. But again, if you want to always be happy, you need to always be on drugs. And the more drugs you take, the more you have to take until the time that there is nothing you can do. But aside from joking, I don't think that you cannot always be happy. That's like, that's not something 100% doable. Although, again, I believe that everything is possible, and I strive for that. I feel like I made a business out of happiness, and I'm addicted to happiness. To me, happiness is I'm addicted to happiness. If I do something that doesn't make me happy, or if I'm with someone who I feel that my happiness is like not the way it should be, I would remove
Right.
myself from that equation, or I will do something else. But again, there are times that, first of all, to answer that question, you cannot always be happy, but because we cannot control what's happening to us all the time.
Exactly.
And I say that
Exactly.
we say that over and over and over again, because one thing is repetition. I want you all to know we cannot control everything, but we can control ourselves. We can control our point of view. So there are times that, for example, there are times that I know that happiness at that moment is not attainable. So what I do, I move. It's like perspective, right? If I'm looking at this glass from this side and it cannot make me happy, I will change my, literally, most of the time, I will change my physical state. But sometimes I do that. A lot of times you do that in your mind. You change your perspective and you look for something good. So what I would suggest is that there are times that really happiness is not attainable, but know this, even when you're not happy, know that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And it's okay to not be happy. Happiness, again, I faked it. I faked happiness, and it's not a good thing to do. And by forgetting your emotions, by neglecting your emotions and the things that you're going through, you cannot get to happiness. So whatever you're feeling, I would suggest to sit on it, like sit with the feeling as long as you have to. But just don't be over dramatic. Don't dramatize stuff, because what we do in our mind, we romanticize things. We become dramatic. Don't be. Just become the observer of whatever situation you're in, and know that everything's going to be okay. And that would be my answer. So, and again,
I completely understand what you said, and I agree. Here's my perspective on it. I have a couple of things. For me, I look at happiness as a beautiful state. So for me to be a beautiful state. Now, remember in our previous segment, I said to you, I have a certain rules, because there are things, you're right, you cannot be happy all the time, because life happens, right? Your significant other can get you upset, or the environment can get you upset, or whatever, So for me, if something happened, I have a rule for me where I get angry for 2 minutes, to deal with it.
Perfect.
And get pissed off, right? And then after 2 minutes, what I do, you remember what I said, appreciation? So everything, there's an appreciation to it. So it doesn't matter whether it's bad or good, there's always appreciation to it. So when you switch whatever happened to appreciation, that's how you become happy. Exactly. First, you take it in when you get angry, you take it in when you get that emotion that you don't want. You're trying to find out what it means. Okay, what the hell was that means? Okay, it could mean many different things. Whether you figure it out or not, you give yourself a timeline. For me, my timeline is only 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, I
love that.
Yeah. And then after this, I say, okay, what can I learn from this? And then because you remember what you ask yourself, you find, right? So once I get my answer, and then so I switch that, I say, okay, how can I appreciate that? Because that's a message that emotion was just giving me. And so now I have to take that message and appreciate the message, and then turn it around and become in a beautiful state, whether some people, you may call it happy. So those are the 3 rules for me. So it's look, it's not easy to do. It takes practice. That's what I said to you. I call that emotional muscle exercise. That so those for me, you have to train your mindset, because your body is one part. Your mind is like a whole bunch of muscle there. You have over thousands of emotions that we experience every day. So, and it's like I said, this computer is not user friendly at all. So, it's not user friendly. It really is. It sucks. I wish it came with a manual, like a book, like manual. You just let me go to page 1. It doesn't come with that. That's the problem. So you got to go through experience in a way you've done things in the past that you're not happy with, and you're like, oh my God, this is how it is. So over the years, I've come to learn how to do that. So now I learn to practice how to be in an appreciation state, in a beautiful state all the time. So whenever something happens, I don't dwell with it.
Exactly.
I go back. I go right into my states. Whatever. Because you're right, and there's not a day that's gonna pass by within 24 hours. Something's not gonna trigger you to get pissed off. I'm not saying you don't get pissed off. You're a human being. Get pissed off, lay it out, but have a set of rule for yourself. If you need 5 minutes to deal with that, take 5 minutes, go through a punching bags or
Exactly.
and ask questions, and they'll say, okay, now I'm back. Okay, so but don't walk away from it, because if you say you pretend to be happy and then you're running away from the emotion, that is the worst thing you could do, because that's going to destroy you a lot quicker and cause all kind of damages. So you have to face the problem, and then once you face it, and then you learn to take the message, you appreciate the problem. So first, face the problem, understand the problem, ask the right questions. Once you get the right answer, second, appreciate it. Once you appreciate
I love that. I love this.
you're gonna feel so much better. Huh? You're gonna feel so much. You love how I say it, right?
I actually try that, and I'm always.
It works, right?
Yeah, it works all the time. I always say gratitude, but like what you said exactly. This whole like 30. I usually take 60 seconds, but 2 minutes works. And yes, that whole appreciation thing works like a magic. Like you forget, you totally forget where you are, why you were mad, why you're not happy anymore around.
Yeah, you have to appreciate the message, because those emotions that you're going through, all emotions are, all it is a message.
Exactly.
But that's why it's important not to ignore it.
Yeah.
Because once you ignore it, it's danger. It becomes very dangerous. So you don't want to do that. So you want to take the message and then learn from it, and then you appreciate the message. And then from appreciation, you go back to a happy state. Because now you know what it is.
Exactly.
You know what the problem is.
Yeah.
If you don't face,
Yeah, it's really, that's the thing. But like we think like that, what you just said, our emotions is like our guiding system. So I believe there is no bad emotion. There are like high value emotion and low value emotion. But they're all equal in helping us getting where we have to go. So I think the negative emotions and positive emotion, they're both on the same scale, because they're telling you something. So if for example, if you're feeling something negative, you have to pay attention to your longing and to your discontent. You have to see that whole pain and pleasure. Where did this come from? Because if you neglect it, again, as someone, and I'm talking out of experience, for years, I buried everything, all my emotions. And the moment that I opened up, like it was like a box, and I went through so much pain, like literally physical pain. That was how much pain I went through. And in the beginning, I didn't know where it was coming from. And then I found out it was all because of those emotions that I neglected. I was feeling so many things at the same time that my body, not just my mind, my body couldn't understand what's happening to me, and that happens to a lot of us, like a lot of us that are like dealing with depression, with like chronic sadness. These are the things that if you go back, like again, one of the things that we do, one of the things that you do, one of the things that I do, I take my clients back in time, so you can find out the cracks and the problems that once in time we buried, or somebody told us, like for example, they tell boys don't cry, or girls don't do that or do that. A lot of these things come from past that we don't even know about consciously. We don't know, but it is there in our unconscious. So pay attention to your feelings, whatever that is, and don't neglect it, because we learn to do that.
And negative emotions, for me, I call the meaning I give it is emotions. Emotions is a message, So, and we have to, once you ignore the message, think of it as if when you have a symptoms like a cancer, but usually it doesn't happen the same day, right? It's a
Exactly.
it's a tiny pain you feel, and then or whatever disease it is, and then you ignore it, and then it goes and goes and goes and goes, and then one day it kills you. Well, emotions do the same thing. So once you hold on to these negative emotions and then you ignore it because you think that, like you said, crying doesn't help it, or you think holding on to it is the best way, then that doesn't help you, because there's about, I think, four things people like to do when it comes to emotions. They like to hold on to it. They hold on to it. That's the first one. And the second one, what they do, people like to compete. You know how when you, for example, you telling someone a problem, they say, "Oh, you think you got a problem? I got a bigger problem than you," and they start competing. It's like
I
bullshit,
know.
man. You don't do that shit. And then they start to compare each other's problems, and then they're like, "Well, I don't have to do anything about it." So those are things that every one of us done in the past. Most 95% of people are doing. So there's no way you can get to be happy if you do that, if you continue doing that. So you got to
Exactly.
change your way of doing things, okay? So because that's the only way you're gonna be happy. Because holding on to it, it doesn't help and
Exactly.
you don't share your emotions to people, because listen, you got a problem, yeah, because when you're sharing, all you're doing, you're competing.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
competing
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
person's gonna listen to you and says, "Oh, look at you, think you got a problem? I got one bigger than you." What I mean? It's
Exactly.
like it makes no sense, absolutely no sense. That's why I don't share my problems. Because I
Exactly.
said I would set a rule for myself: 2 minutes, and I deal with it, figure it out. And if I have to do a punching bag for a second, do it, and then just ask the right question, find out what the hell was that. What can I learn from this? Once I get the message, then I appreciate the message. I say thank you for allowing me to know this, and I appreciate it. From appreciation, now that I appreciate it, now I say, okay, now it's time to go back to my beautiful state, to my
Exactly.
happy,
Exactly.
happy state. That's how you do it, But obviously, in the NLP techniques, we have so many techniques we do. This is a beautiful way to explain it for the average people who doesn't understand that language, neuro and linguistic programming.
I want to
So
talk about it actually, but like, but yet once because of the connection, because this is something I really
yeah,
wanted,
connection's
because that,
horrible.
that that came a lot. I think next week we should talk
Yeah,
about NLP, what it is, because that was a question that was asked a lot. But like, let's talk about it next week. A full
absolutely.
program, yeah. Talk about what is NLP, and there was
Yeah,
another thing that people wanted to know: how do we pick a coach, like an NLP practitioner? So we're going to talk about it next week. Thank you
yeah.
so much. I know you're
Awesome.
you're
I'm having
very
fun in
busy.
DR.
This is really fun. Thank you guys so much. See you next week,
Yeah.
same time,
Yes.
same place.
Yeah. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be in the Dominican Republic right now,
Oh,
still
okay,
next week.
good.
So I'm hoping the connection get better. So
Let's hope
hopefully.
so. Yeah, yeah, because I really want to talk about this NLP.
I know, I
And
know, I
yeah,
know, I know. We'll talk about it. Thank you, all
thank
right?
you.
Bye.
Bye, bye, guys.
Bye. Take care. Bye bye.